What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's Jake Marchand, and I had somebody ask me a little bit earlier. I had a topic I wanted to talk to you guys about. They asked me, I said, Jake, I see you've got 3 or 4 houses right now, and I want to jump and start doing what you're doing. I want to buy some houses. How long should it take me to get my first house? And this is a great question. This is probably something I have a little bit of experience with, and I'll let you know kind of how it ended up happening for me. And this is assuming you have the financing. Let's just say you're sitting there right now. You've got enough money for a 20% down payment on an investment house. You don't have to do no freaky Burr method or any sort, nothing illegal. And you just said, hey, I want to start an investment house right now. Get me a house right now. And so my answer may not be to everybody's liking, and I wouldn't waste any time. There's two answers to this. Number one, ask somebody who's doing it, get their advice, and copy. So, for example, I have a little brother, and he's been watching he actually inspired me to buy my first houses. He was the first one who jumped in the real estate game. But it was funny because he hasn't bought him a house, and I've been in this game for probably 2 or 3 years, and he keeps asking me like, I want to get a house, and he's been looking for the last year. Even though I bought 4 properties last year, he's been looking for the last year trying to find him a house and stuff, and he's just been spinning his wheels. We're gonna stop that, and the plan is I told him, hey, I know the area. I've bought multiple houses in this area. I've scanned the market. I spun my wheels for years. I know how I mean. I spun my wheels for at least a year, probably more like 18 months, looking through all these different types. And I know where's a safe place to be where you can start making cash flow day one. And I told him that, and what's going to happen is he's just going to say, all right, I'm tired of spinning my wheels. I trust you. I'm going to move into that area. So step one would be find somebody who's doing it right now. It doesn't have to be, obviously you want to go for a mentor. All the people I look at are vastly out of my league, so I'm trying to emulate what they're doing. But it could be pick somebody who's pretty successful and ask them like where are they purchasing at. They doesn't have to be a Cardone or anybody like that. It can be somebody local that has 10, 15, 5, 20 houses, and ask them like where's a good area, and you can go in there and grab a house. And if you're ready to go, like if you have all the money, you're ready to go, and you have the mindset, you can do it tomorrow. You get your little team together of agents, and you get your team with the bank, and you're ready to go tomorrow. But the true answer, like for me, and I wouldn't recommend this, is if you're asking me how, Jake, I want to jump in, I've got everything ready, I want to buy a house, and I'm brand new at this. I want to be a real estate investor. How long does it take to get one? I would have to tell you at least a year. So when I started this, it took me about a year or 18 months, and I can't really tell you how much time I wasted, but I probably spent 6 months looking up everything from cap rates on commercial properties to strategies negotiating with a bank on a loan for a commercial loan for a business. I looked up multifamily units. I looked up single family housing. I looked at a C class property, B class property, Section 8. I looked up student housing. I looked up just everything you can. I looked up I forget what you call it when you take care of your elders in the home. I looked up everything trying to find a niche market. I followed Ben Malla, and I followed everybody you could possibly find. And after about 6 months of studying, I thought I was ready, and I spent about a year spinning my wheels in the market. So I'm trying to think about how long it actually was. It was 6 months to a year. I went through probably 100 C-class properties. I about killed 5 real estate agents. And this is actually why real estate agents hate first-time home buyers or first-time investment property buyers, because most of them never follow through. They look at 50 houses and then quit. But yeah, and I looked at C-class properties and B-class properties, and I went through I was looking at Burr method houses to where I could jump in and value add and, take a 3-1 to a 3-2 or cut a big master in half. I looked at properties close to schools that had like, you rent them out to 5 separate students and they rent them by the bed. And then I looked at just single family homes way out in the country for way cheaper than anybody should pay. So it took me about a year to year and a half. And if you were going to expedite that and say like how long would I suggest if you weren't going to take the advice of people who've done that before, or if you weren't going to ask questions and try and like emulate what other people are doing just to get into the game, I would probably say about a year. It's going to take you a while to study, and you're going to find these little niches that you like, oh, I think I want to be the Section 8 king of the Southeast, you know, and then you'll go run and look at 50 of those properties and you might realize why that isn't. And once you finally spend about a year in it and you buy your first house, you're basically going to feel like you know your tenant before you even close on the house. Like when I bought my first house, and bear in mind, I had to put 25 grand into, I bought a house and put it doesn't really matter, the money's different reasons. I bought a house and put about 20% of the purchase price, 15 to 20% of the purchase price renovating it. And even before I was renovating, I knew what my tenant looked like because I'd been through the area so much. I knew who was going to come through the area. I knew how I was going to make the house look when it was done, and who would come in and look at that house, and what type of family or individual would come in and say, oh wow, I love it here, it's close to my job. So I felt very, very well prepared when I bought my first house, but it was about a year and a half. Now I was still scared absolutely to death. I had all the first time problems, but I have a really good mentor and partner in my business, who has a lot of experience and who's helped me every time I come across something I couldn't come across. So it was a little bit different for me. You're still going to have all of these problems, but you probably won't feel comfortable until probably 6 months to a year, unless you kind of reach out and talk to people and emulate them. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, to answer that, if you got all the money and you're ready to do it, you have no experience, you want to start today and you don't have anybody, I would probably expect about 6 months to a year. And I'm saying this so you don't feel bad. It's going to take you a lot longer than you think, just because this is a funny market. It's like saying, oh, I want to be an accountant, jumping in that field. You know, most people go to school for 4 years. You're going to have to pay your tuition somewhere. You got to put the time in somewhere. So let me know if you have any questions or any comments. Maybe you're where I'm at, or maybe you want to do what I'm doing, or maybe you're way ahead of me and you have some suggestions. I would love some suggestions. So my name is Jake Marchand, and I really appreciate talking to you guys. And we are going to keep making that passive income, baby. See you guys later.